Let's get a little bit more into how this all started. I want to get back into some older details, a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff that's going to happen today. We're going to look at the two biggest conspiracies. One I think that isn't really discussed that much, and one that definitely was discussed in the past, even by the likes of 50 Cent. Even this trial, as we continue to look over it and say, damn, this feels like it's more so about this man's personal sex life. Y'all want to hit this man with state charges when it really shouldn't be a federal case. I mean, I'm sorry, the reverse. Y'all hitting him with federal charges, a RICO, when it should be state. And we continue to have these type of vibes even during yesterday's whole breakdown. And it makes me go back. And we're going to do the updates from yesterday's court proceedings. The redundancy was still there. And it's like, damn, is this stuff really, really about the extortion attempt allegedly of Cassie? That lawsuit. I'm not trying to say that she doesn't deserve something for what she went through, but I want to look back at that. I definitely want to look back at that. We got some articles to go back through. We have people that have already accused her of extorting Diddy. I want to pull up the what is it, Diageo, the liquor situation that Diddy was in that he had to withdraw from. He had bigger fish to fry. We'll get to all of that. Also in the thumbnail, who do y'all see? Y'all see Lil Baby? There's something that happened recently that made me remember, yo, Lil Baby, be careful. All right, be careful. We got Tyler Perry. And get more into the weeds. It looks like he's getting a lawsuit put on him for alleged sexual assault. I want to get more into the weeds of his background, where I stand on Tyler Perry as well. Pusha T, we got to do a little bit more on the hip hop side of things, right? I'm looking forward to this album coming. Pusha T's out here going at Travis Scott. All right, we'll take a look at that too. But let's kick things off. Before I get too much tinfoil with it, let's make sure that we come up to speed to what happened yesterday in court with Diddy and see if any of this is going to tie into this whole title we all see. Is the Diddy trial really over Cassie's extortion? All right, let's see what's happening here. We don't want to miss any days unless there's absolutely nothing going on at all. But Combs' lawyer, Tini Gallegos, who's been doing a great job, if you ask me, people, however, told jurors that prosecutors are trying to turn the sex between consenting adults into a sex trafficking case. Sean Combs is a complicated man, but this is not a complicated case. This case is about love, jealousy, infidelity, and money, she said. Gallegos claimed Combs' accusers were motivated by money. She told jurors that Cassie demanded 30 million when she sued him, and another witness acknowledged demanding 22 million in breach of a contract lawsuit. All right. So some early tie-ins are already happening into the title. Let's keep going. Gallegos conceded that Combs' violent outbursts, often fueled by alcohol, jealousy, and drugs, might have warranted domestic violence charges, but not sex trafficking and racketeering counts. She told jurors they might think Combs is a jerk and might not condone his kinky sex, but he's not charged with being a jerk. Okay, let's just run through the bullet points from court yesterday. Nothing too crazy. All right, Special Agent D. Lisa Penland returned to the stand. Penland walked the jury through a comprehensive timeline of texts and phone calls associated with the March 2016 beating of Cassie Ventura and the alleged cover-up involving hotel staff. The timeline started on March 4th for Ventura's outreach and escorts and ended with Combs' phone call on Easter and Eddie who was that? Garcia's asking if anyone had reached out to him about Combs' purchase of the hotel surveillance video. Among a barrage of calls to Ventura after she left the hotel, Combs falsely told her twice that he was going to be arrested, and if you don't pick up, you'll never hear my voice again. He's making sure that her ass comes back to the scene. Yo, they here, something like that. But she wrote out for him, right? Even when it was time to cop the footage, she did the FaceTime call with the guy that sold him the footage, right? She wrote out. She stood by her side through the midst of all that situation. The jury heard about 3 or more meetings or freak-offs from 2009 through 2014 in which flights were purchased to transport escorts from LA to NYC or NYC to LA using an American Express card in Combs' name. and the card's balance was paid with bank accounts associated with the Bad Boy Entertainment worldwide. So once again, showing black and white transactions because you're going after the sex trafficking. To me, that's the main target from this whole RICO case. That's the strongest thing that they've actually put on the table thus far. So the actual transactions, you can say whether Diddy swiped it himself, it's still underneath the umbrella of the Bad Boy Enterprises. The RICO is a running of a criminal organization and enterprise. So continuing the little small details and black and white stuff like that is going to make it, tough for the jury. All right. The same card and bank accounts were used to pay for hotels associated with the trips and additional courts such as car services from the airport, $438 in alcohol and $740 in whatever this is, candles, whatever brand that is. $740 in candles, B? Come on, man. You go to Bed Bath and Beyond or some shit like that. I could get you a nice candle setup for like 200, B. Maybe less. 740 for candles. Yo. He's freak off. See, did any of y'all see the stream when I said, yo, Diddy, all you got to do is just go into the porn world, right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And you wouldn't even be the first. People like Snoop Dogg got into the porn industry. He said, man, let me get some of that porn money, right? You can go over there and you could direct all of the $740 worth of candles, and you can still sit in the corner with your Astroglide off camera. Everything that he's doing that they're charging him for is getting him in trouble. He can do legally and make money and write it off on his taxes, right? Or all the type of shit legally in the porn world. All of it. All of it. And you don't even have to drop every video. So even if you have a girlfriend on the side, like an alleged Daphne Joy or Cassie in the porn video, what if you just want to vault the video and say, oh, that's my girl, I don't want, and then you probably still would be able to dangle the footage over their heads too, like don't get out of line. But you could say it's all being done under your fucking porn company. Anyway, the jury heard about damage to rooms paid for with an American Express account linked to Combs' businesses, including $46,000 in damages to a penthouse as the Intercontinental Hotel in Times Square, and $950 in linen damage, deep cleaning, and in the or at the Lee Hermitage Hotel in Beverly Hills. $46,000 doesn't shock me. You see the room that they fucked up in the movie The Hangover? That looks like a couple hundred that the hotel would try to hit you for. A room like that in Hangover might cost anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 a night. So they're gonna tax you heavy. $46,000 for what he did in New York. That's not bad at all. And $950 for some sheets might be a little bit crazy, but all right. During cross-examination, the defense had the jury watch more than 10 minutes of various clips of Cassie Ventura's freak-off sex tapes. So there you have it. The jury got to see the sex tapes. All bullshit aside from saying, oh, let me see what Cassie looks like naked. Let me see what her sex game is like. All joking aside, you get to visualize consent or not when you see a video like that as a juror. You get to say like, yo, she looks like she's being pleasured. She looks like she's enjoying it. Is her head turned away from the action the whole time? Does she look like her eyes is watering, like she wants to cry, a tear, or her facial mannerisms? Those of somebody that's just like looking like Stony. All bullshit aside, Stony from the Set It Off scene, right? For my movie heads, reference King. In that scene, how did Stoney's mannerisms and body, language look? And what they really tried to show and Set It Off, if you pay attention, they try to show the difference between a fully, this is what I want to do woman, because that's why later on when she met her knight in shining armor, the guy that worked at the bank, the handsome guy that was taking her out and showering her with gifts and taking her shopping and showing her the better things in life, showing her that you don't always got to be in the hood or be a hood chick. Let me classy you up and all that type of stuff. When they had that, their romantic scene, right? They showed what it should look like for a woman to be fully, I'm turned out by this emotionally, mentally, physically. I want to be here. I love everything about this. That's why they showed those two scenes, right? The comparison of what Stoney went through, good and bad. So That's what the jurors are supposed to pay attention to. That's why they're showing that shit to them. And if Cassie is in there looking like the second scene in Set It Off, if she's in there looking like the first scene from Set It Off, okay. If I was the prosecution, I would say that. Have any of y'all seen Set It Off? Remember the difference? Pay attention to Cassie. It's real though. It's real. I'm trying to add the little entertainment jest to it, but that's real shit. That's real shit. All right. Jurors viewed the videos on the screens in front of their seats with headsets for audio, and at one point, the gallery could hear unintendable. I'm sorry, yeah, unintendable voices emanating from the headsets into the microphone, but the issue was corrected. A marshal warned a journalist in the back row who was craning her neck to see the jury's reaction to stay seated. The people in the courtroom was like this. They was trying to really get their look or get their little hearing of that audio and those videos so they could run right outside during break and report that to their platforms. Um, how loud or what's being said that you could possibly hear through them people's headphones? Diddy directing? Who knows? But I could assume that remember, visuals always by human nature hit harder. Okay. So the same way things change with game changing for us when we saw the video of the hotel with Cassie and Diddy, seeing the freak off footage after hearing so much in the trial might make those jurors feel away. And it's going to be the type of thing that once you visualize something, it stays in your mind more in the front of things. Like, okay, I heard this, I heard that. But as far as the visual thing, I can't unsee that. That's going to stick with them. So how they interpret that right there will be huge. That might be one of the biggest bullet points I've seen, at least within like the last week, to come out of trial. One of them. All right. Combs, wearing a headset, occasionally glanced at the jury's direction. Oh, he got to hear it and see it as well. Okay. Combs' attorney, Tina Gallegos, drew attention to messages not included in the government's chart of supporting evidence, specifically sexually explicit loving texts and emails between Ventura and Combs concerning the encounters featured in the chart. The courtroom was closed to the public at the end of the day for sealed hearing. It's unclear whether it concerned an issue raised in the morning by the judge, who mentioned someone from the prosecution or defense teams possibly leaking information to the media from a closed door hearing on Friday. Little side tactics. I believe also to start the day yesterday, one of the jurors was absolutely officially let go. There was a conflict with that. Judge made a decision on that one. Tina Garego seems to be fully activated right now. And I gave y'all my reasoning between that. It's the optics. It's a white woman defending a black man that is fighting off the treatment of other women, right? And things that he's doing to force and coerce other women. So optics wise, Tina Gallegos right now is perfect, and she's fit for the job. Like, she's doing a good job up there, it seems. All right, let's move now to some of this conspiracy theory stuff and get a little bit more into the weeds of the title. All right. So what do we hear so far as how does all this start? Do we want to ask ourselves conspiracy theory 1, 2, or 3? Here's the first conspiracy theory. Diddy, who is an extremely public figure, a household name, had just won the key to the city, or was presented the key to the city by the New York mayor. Household name. He just simply was doing too much. You could only spit in the law's face, but so many times before they say, we got to do something about you, God. We got to sit you down. We got to slap you. We got to make an example out of you. There's people historically where we see you didn't fucking take heed to what you went through and you got your second chance. I always use OJ Simpson as one of my biggest examples. You beat a murder that the whole world thinks you're guilty of. Sit the fuck down. There's no way you're supposed to be running up on nobody. Even though the shit was allegedly yours, sit the fuck down. You beat a fucking murder. Okay? There's no way he's supposed to even get a speeding ticket after that, OJ. Who else you got? You got Young Thug, right? Those tweets where you see Fulton County prosecutors went back to court and tried to violate his parole terms and get him back into jail to serve his back end agreement just from some tweets, right? And a lot of us look at Young Thug and like, yo, dude, after what you just went through and the fucking masterclass that Brian Steele just put on, sit the fuck down. Stop tweeting. Don't do nothing. Stay away from all that shit. That's another example. Let's see if we got one more. Diddy. Let's use him for the last one. Sean case, the Sean shooting. You pretty much escaped all of that. And you even kept your reputation. You got Sean over here doing campaigns saying, like, yo, this guy had separate lawyers. He kind of set me up to take the fall. He stood tall, didn't snitch. You got all these situations where Diddy was getting into public spats. He went through the hotel situation. He called the person that delivered that footage to him his angel, right? He's gotten into situations in the public with women. Allegedly, like when Cassie says, hey, we're on a flight and I'm kicking up to this guy as he's beating the shit out of me. I'm screaming, is anybody watching? Is anybody seeing this? You know, you had her best friend that don't fuck with Cassie and him no more, alleged that she got hit in the head with a hanger and took a little payoff to walk away and get away from all of them and keep her mouth shut. You got all these things. You got the shooting of Big. How about that? The murder of Big and the murder of Pac. You got people literally running around like Keefe D putting your name in the murder of Pac and all this shit, and people saying that you put money up and there was bounties put on chains and whatnot. This is huge shit. We're in the internet era, and this type of shit is popping out on your name. If you're Diddy and you've already gotten in and out of a lot of these situations, you escape with your life. You over there, you escape with your freedom over here. There goes the chair. Sit the fuck down. That's not even conspiracy theory number one. That's theory number one. All right, I gotta take conspiracy off of that because I just talked about a whole bunch of fucking real shit that's happening around his name, facts that's happening around his name. That's theory number one. Theory number two is what I'm bringing into the title that I feel like we don't hear enough. Is this all extortion? Now, mind you, people, when I talk about Cassie allegedly extorting Diddy, it also in part includes the government. Okay, there's certain text messages even between allegedly Daphne Joy and Diddy that we read on our streams, and I said, that's a little informative-ish. That's a little snitch radish. The girl allegedly Gabriella Zaninga, she did the same thing to Shannon Sharp. We got to certain text messages and we was like, she's texting, yes, but Shannon, no means no. When I say stop the intercourse, you are supposed to stop. Why did you start writing and typing? Like, who uses that word selection? Last month, you texted me talking about like, yeah, 10,000 an ass cheat. You know what I'm saying? The way you be drilling me, Big Daddy. Now you talking about when I say the sexual intercourse is supposed to cease, no means no. Like, what word select? Did you type that, or did the fucking Fed sitting next to you in the passenger seat type that and you hit send? Right? So certain text messages that I saw, even with Daphne Joy, allegedly, they look suspicious as fuck. Like, I think at this point she might be working. She might be in touch with the government. The government might be already subpoenaing these people saying, you're going to be a part of this, or what you got for us, right? I don't think there's anything different with Cassie. Right. It's just, when do we feel like the government started getting in touch with her? How early? Right. Now, let me add to the conspiracy theory of this possibility number two. The hotel footage. The hotel footage. It was released to the public through CNN. Right. Cool. CNN doesn't own that hotel. They didn't shoot the footage. They paid for it. They got their hands on it somehow. Somebody gave it to them. Okay. One of the biggest theories of how CNN got the footage was from the government. I think that's still highly, highly, highly probable. Okay. You give it to a TMZ, you give it to a CNN, that changes the way the whole world feels about Diddy. Great tactic, knowing that we are also about to charge him with this RICO federal case. You put that video out first. Masterful chessboard move from the government, if so, right? But the same way we can ask, or can ask, how did CNN get the footage? We can also ask, or have to ask, how did the government get the footage? If a lot of us believe that the government is behind leaking it, I believe even Diddy's defense is of the belief that the government is behind putting the footage out. I believe that's the case too. But how did they get it? Did the guy that got paid off and already testified in the trial, was he running around with the footage? Did he get engaged by the feds? Maybe, maybe not. If you're going to say that he's a possibility, you know who else you better say is a possibility to having their hands on that footage? The person right fucking next to Diddy, Cassie. If you're in touch with the feds and the government, and you know, not only do you have this civil thing going on, you also know that this Fed case or the indictment or the possibility of all this stuff going on, and I'm already going to deal with that federal situation as a witness, the $20 million that we might end up winning, or what, you know, this all, you and your legal team, you know that this is all tied. It 1000% is. And if I can see that right here, you and your legal team better see that when you guys are in the midst of putting it all together, putting the play together, it's all going to tie together, right? What compounds your civil case, right? For all we know, Cassie might have told them behind the scenes. You know, we got the footage from the hotel, right? It's all, I mean, obviously him paying off in 24 hours, Diddy has his memory intact. He knows that, shit, I did a lot with fucking Cassie. Let me stop this right now. And it's clear during the trial, like, yeah. And he reacted real fast. But the footage, why couldn't it have come from Cassie as well? Why couldn't it have? Why is that not possible? Why did she not be the one to hand it over to CNN to support maybe what she was helping the government in the midst of, or to help her civil suit, knowing that I'm about to go for tens of millions of dollars? Either one. Why couldn't she have turned it over to CNN or the government? And it's miraculous that the government can use that footage in the trial, and I think they should. I really think they should. They could use that footage in the trial, yet the government, damn, it's a dirty game, and you got to play their game no matter what. Why is it not required to reveal the source of the footage, where it came from? Why is that? The only thing that got targeted was the recipient and how they edited it so they can put it on their fucking channel, CNN. Why does we not have to talk about CNN? Where the fuck did you get it? How about this? CNN, maybe you didn't edit it. Maybe somebody else edited it and gave it to you. Why can't we find out who is the source of releasing this information? Is it the guy that Diddy paid off that backstabbed him? Is it the hotel that the government went to? Not necessarily the worker that got paid off, but the Fed subpoenaed the hotel and said, you better have your hands on this footage, and they still had it. Duke wasn't risking his job. He gave Diddy a copy, told him this is the only one, but left the hotel actual shit alone, right? Was it Cassie? You already in talks with Cassie. Like, who gave CNN the fucking footage? But anyway, I think we need to discuss that much more. And as much as I do not listen to no fucking Kanye West 98% of the time, right? It's already out there, and he's one of the people that put some legs to it. Some, not necessarily the footage, but we remember this little Twitter rant that he had. And recently he showed up to Diddy's court date to support him. Now, our minds right now are looking at Kanye, you probably showing up, you and Bianca, to support Diddy. One, because you're all white, you showed up looking like a fucking dove, like, for the attention. It's Kanye, right? Number two, 50 Cent is the one that's putting the narrative out there that all y'all got together and y'all was doing shit too. He alluded to Vegas, his BM, allegedly, Bianca, Kanye, and Diddy out in Vegas doing freak offs together. And on top of that, from a recent stream, y'all see what we broke down. Kanye looks like he names his songs and albums cuck and all that, right? I mean, there's a lot of shit that's pointing at the type of person that Kanye might be out here moving around in his private bedroom as well. That's his business. But I could damn near see Kanye if it came out tomorrow that Kanye was doing similar shit as Diddy, flying other men in to fuck on his wife. The last thing I would be is shocked. The last thing. So there's all these other things that we're paying attention to as to why Kanye wants to publicly come out and take such a stand for Diddy, right? But he also was a person that was coming out and saying, Cassie, you asked Diddy for some money, he declined, and then you put that suit, that civil suit out, and your tactics was a form of extortion, right? All right, check this out. Cassie hits back at Kanye West Diddy extortion claims with Playboy Cardi's help. This is from March this year. Cassie has hit back following Kanye West's claims that she extorted Diddy and she used Playboy Cardi's words to make her statement. As previously reported, Ye went off on one of his most explosive X or Twitter rants yet on Tuesday, March 18th, hitting out at everyone from the likes of Cardi, Cassie, Jim Jones, Cardi B, and more. As it pertained to Cassie, he reiterated the same claims he previously made about her last month, casting doubt on her lawsuit against her ex-boyfriend and suggesting it was extortion. How every nigga you know hit a girl before, but everybody's so mad at Puff, he wrote. So Cassie ain't extort Puff. Cassie came to Puff and said, give me 30 million or I'm going to release a tell-all book. That looks like extortion to me. So one of the reasons why this falls on deaf ears, well, multiple reasons why, it's Kanye, and his Twitter behavior has fucked over his credibility. These are one of the reasons why you must maintain your integrity. They teach us this shit as a kid when the fucking wolves is trying to blow down the little house, the little piglets, right? Is that the story? The boy who cried wolf, right? Like, if you run around lying, when shit really hits the fan, nobody believes you, and you need more. And I'm damn near being so objectively open-minded to say it's possible that Cassie extorted Diddy to a degree. Look at the title of this stream, and we're bringing up supportive information from Kanye, even though his integrity is shot. That's what he has done with his Twitter rants. And if he wanted to word this in a way that made people pay more attention, you remove the piece that says, quotes, how every nigga you know hit a girl before, but everybody's so mad at Puff. Dickhead. You're not helping Puff like that. Dickhead. His intelligence. You know what he's like to me, Kanye? He's become, quick sidetrack, like R. Kelly. They say R. Kelly can't even fucking read, right? You got these geniuses in certain pockets, like a Rain Man, that if you spill a fucking table full of toothpicks in 5 seconds, he could tell you how many is there. Or you take Rain Man into the casino and he could fucking walk out of there with $1 billion because his card counting. They stole that in The Hangover. It really comes from the Rain Man shit with Tom Cruise, movie heads, right? There's people that have these weird is not even the right word, but I should say these one-off, very uncommon gifts, right? R. Kelly's was music and music writing. But R. Kelly always was projected and seemed and was talked about as people around him as you have a conversation with him. He's a little slower, little can't read ass nigga. They say he can't read English language or black and white words, but he could read music notes. That sounds a little bit like a gift to me. You want another one? Reference King, Freddie Roach. The guy who's walking around with Parkinson's and can barely stay still, but as soon as he hops and gets in the ring with Manny Pacquiao and starts shadowboxing and shit with his mitts, his body is on point. I'll give you more. Fred the Godson. That's where his name comes from. Doctors told him, given his respiratory and his type of situation, he wasn't supposed to be able to have the breathing patterns for rapping, yet he is one of the best punchline rappers on beat ever. A gift to you that turns off and on sometimes. Real shit. Real shit. And I gave you all of those in my reference King bag to say Kanye is one of those guys to me now. The musical genius is not to be disputed, and he has pockets of high awareness. But from a societal and from an interpersonal and from a humanitarian standpoint, Kanye is a child. He's 14 years old in those departments of his brain. He's 14 fucking years old. And that's why you're not helping Diddy when you may have some information for the public to go do some research on. Dumb nigga, you might. But instead you word it how every nigga you know hit a girl before. I'm sorry, Kanye. Every nigga I know hasn't hit a woman before. But let me not get sidetracked what it's like. This is so clear of you're being destructive when you're trying to help him. You dumb fuck. You fucking dummy. I wish this clip right here got to his stupid ass so he could see it. He probably still won't understand it. He's lacking. He's fucking lacking. But anyway, let's continue. Let me go back to small screen. Back to the extortion. I don't want y'all to lose that. Just stay with me. So he writes that. He says, that looks like extortion to me because she threatened a tell-all book. Is that true? Is Kanye really trying to bring us something that is a fact? Because I would then take an issue with Cassie. If you're going to sue somebody, sue somebody. If somebody argue, call the cops. If you got a civil suit on somebody, then call a lawyer, right? And then y'all are going to figure it out. 2, 3, 4 years, however long it takes, y'all are going to figure this shit out. But don't come to me and say, remember that 10, 11 years when we was together? All the shit that we did, right and wrong? I'm going to write this tell-all book about it. And the only way I'm not going to do it is if you break me off with 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 million dollars. And if I say tell-all book, you threaten me with a book, bitch, kick rocks. Go fuck yourself. You and your new man. Go fuck yourself. And then you say, okay, cool. And then you go to the lawyer and you drop a civil suit. I would take a big problem with that. Diddy would still be disgusting in a lot of things that he did within that 10, 11 years with you. But I don't fuck with extortion like that. Like, no, y'all would both be assholes to me. That would be disgusting from Cassie. And that would show that all the things that you went through, your motivation still ends with opportunity and money, you consenting ass adults. But the extortion being a part of the consent would make her a demon. It would make her even worse. It would make her Diddy's true partner and accomplice through all of this. You are just as bad as him. You just are the damsel in distress female alongside of him during all this. You guys broke up. He ends up with young Miami. You get influenced by that. You get jealous of that. He's pouring all of this into her. You wanted to always have that ring and a baby and a family and get the full public consent the way you want. You didn't get all those things. You're from the outside looking in. You might start going broke with this trainer over here. Tell all book. That's the way that some of these motherfuckers get paid. Damn, Superhead did that too. We didn't just watch that. Oh, we in mode today. Who's fucking with this morning stream? Tell me if I'm bugging. Superhead did that shit too. It's time for my book. Dare I now start to put the likes of a Cassie with a Superhead? I told y'all the other day, I said, I'm done calling these niggas anything outside of what they are. Daphne Joy, she's a hoe to me. My personal opinion, she's a hoe. Cassie, you're a hoe. You're a hoe. You got a lot of people on your celebrity roster too. You're a hoe. You and did he hold you out? Did he do some fucked up shit? Yes, but you also, two things could be true. You're also a hoe. My opinion. Tell all book. I would love to get my hands on proof of that, man. I would look at you the same way I look at Diddy. The same fucking way. A piece of shit. But it goes underneath the radar because the fucking messenger is a fucking clown. I don't need any more of that. That's really honing down the first two. The third one, once again, just to rehash. The liquor company conspiracy, right? Just to rehash, and that's the third one, of course. The likes of 50 Cent. I'm gonna tell y'all also why you got to look at this one with a grain of salt. I'm gonna tell you why. But 50 Cent did an interview. It's on video as well. My particular experience, this is his quotes during an interview. My particular experience with Beam Suntory, it was great at the beginning, 50 said. At the 2150 mark of the interview below, it's great for us to work for them. It's not so cool when you start to own things. I made a lot of money with them too. They did a deal that mirrored what Puffy's deal with Diageo was for Ciroc. So he didn't have ownership of that at any point, but he was getting a lot of money, almost 60 million a year at one point. When you seeing him go to De Leon, is when you see him have some issues. Fifth insisted that he had a part of Diddy's current downfall basically is all tied to that. So where's the lawsuit stuff? Here it is. Diddy, who signed a deal to promote, like 50 said, he didn't have ownership in it. But when we seen all of those James Bond ass commercials and promos popping up by Diddy, that's how he was earning that was like his primary role for Ciroc, and it worked. It had Ciroc in all the clubs. It had other rappers then coming on and like damn near a pyramid type of thing, where it's like you got the French Montanans and I think some of the DJs and Rick Ross. They was all Ciroc boys. The promotion that Diddy spearhead coming into Ciroc made Ciroc. I went into the fucking liquor store the other day. There was 2 new Cirocs I'd never seen before. I'm like, they're still making new flavors. People still look at Ciroc and think Diddy. They probably don't even want Diddy's name associated with that brand anymore. But I still think Diddy. Niggas still calling that shit Diddy juice to this day. And he's out of that deal now because of this, I believe, right? I think they cast him away just like Revolt. But when he brings the lawsuit, the Ciroc 2007 and purchased De Leon with Diageo in 2013, sued Diageo in May of 2023 and accused them of racism. Combs withdrew the lawsuit in January. Okay, that's all I need. So when he withdrew the lawsuit, I was just like, yeah, I get it. Because the timing of it, he was now dealing with his criminal situation. The whole Diageo thing, I guess a comparison, in my opinion, is like Drake fighting with UMG, a super billion-dollar corporation and company. I mean, duh, if you're paying Diddy 60 million a year for promotion, what the fuck are the owners up there making? You know what? When I did my numbers breakdown for if Drake will sue Kendrick, and we did all the how much is UMG, that whole mathematical stream, I promise you that take is nowhere else on the internet. And I'm not going to get into the weeds and do all that shit right now for this. I'm just going to do this with y'all on flight. How much is the liquor parent company Diageo worth? The numbers almost align exactly from what I'm thinking using Drake and UMG. Diageo, the British multinational alcoholic beverage company, has a market capitalization of approximately 58.56 billion as of June 2025. The numbers is almost the same as UMG. So, if you're Diddy and you're about to fight this RICO case for what could land you in jail for the rest of your life, prison for the rest of your life, yeah, you drop that Ciroc shit because you're not suing me from the Sorry It's True podcast for $5,000. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying? You're suing UMG, i.e. Diageo. That's going to be a lot of money. That's a big investment. That's a big situation. It could run years or whatever. You leave that alone. I got to deal with my freedom right now. Right? But that conspiracy, I think, got its most legs because of 50 Cent. Now, let me tell you why 50 Cent has a little bit of a bias there, and I still got to take him with a grain of salt. Not just because lately in 2025 and 2024, 50 has been asking us to devalue some of his credibility with his trolling, and we're still waiting on a Tammy documentary. He's done a lot of things that's just like, your word isn't gold the way that it used to be, 50 Cent. But it was depicted in the Trap Law Ross video. Trap Lord Ross this year did a documentary on the beef between 50 Cent and Diddy and how happy 50 Cent is, now that Diddy is going through what he's going through. I know a lot of people out here probably feel like, shit, his main motive for being happy is because he knew what Diddy was doing with his BM. It's longer running than that because the Diddy and the alleged Daphne Joy relationship, I think they said spanned like 3 years. The 50 Cent and the Diddy beefs is like what, 15, 20 years or whatever. It's way before Diddy met Daphne, allegedly, right? In that documentary, a huge angle was brought up that I believe. That's why I really like Trap Lord Ross's research and his editing, his production, his content. He brought up the liquor company competition, right? I think Diddy and 50 had a little bit of URL and RBE shit going on. Not even a little bit, a lot. That wasn't just personal, wasn't later on over my BM. It was the core of we're in the same market. We're both trying to sell liquor and we're going to fight. And sometimes we're going to do things in each other's direction to maintain a lion's share of what the fans are fucking with. That normally be the root cause. Remember that series I did, Follow the Imitators? You guys now seeing all this dust up between, like, let's say URL and TBL. As much as I have a lot of information about what RBE endured and I have factual stuff backing it, right? I still kept it 1,000 and got towards the end of that series that I dropped, the Follow the Imitator series. And I said, you want to know who the main ops always are? It's whoever can create noise. Sometimes personal stuff comes in. Stay with my parallels, people. Sometimes the 50 Cent, Diddy, and Daphne Joy dynamic comes in as well. That female battle rapper. Sometimes that shit comes in and makes it personal. Sometimes you look at that guy and there's even like little competitive things. Maybe they both New Yorkers. Damn, I'm good. Just keep up with my parallels, people. Just keep up with me. Sometimes those personal things come in, but the root, the core of the cancer it's not the symptom of these things up here. It's really the competition at the business level, which is why similar things have happened with all these different companies. And in that Trap Lord Ross documentary was broken down. I saw this on the liquor store shelves still the other day too. FN is still up there. I don't know if 50 Cent still has a claim or stock or ownership or anything in it, but FN is still for sale. Remember FN? A lot of artists got into that liquor world. Dipset got into it with the Scissor, Diddy promoting the Ciroc, 50 Cent with FN, Jay-Z, the whole Ace of Spades and all that type of stuff. A majority of Rick Ross's wealth, I believe, is broken down not from music. I believe it's from his liquor shit. The Belair or Belair, right? It's from like that's a majority of his wealth. These rappers, they peeping the scene and saying, "Oh shit! Like I'm doing all this touring and all this rap." Well, some of these niggas make crazy money touring. A Kendrick, a Drake, a Beyonce, a Chris Brown, but not everybody could fall in that pocket. Like Rick Ross can't tour the way a Travis Scott, a Kanye West, a Beyonce, a Kendrick Lamar, a Drake. He can't tour at that level, right? So that type of money that they make, it's restricted for like 10 people. That type of money, okay? But those guys still like a heavyweight, like a Rick Ross. He's realizing from these record deals and all that type of shit and hanging around the Diddies of the world. Hold on. You mean to tell me that you made 60 million last year from Ciroc promotion? Meanwhile, last year from music, you only made 10 million? And now every post that Rick Ross puts on his fucking page is him holding that fucking bottle of Belair. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay? You don't always got to reinvent the wheel. You're like, oh, that's what it is. Look, we see it in all these different pockets of the world. You see Young Thug standing in front of Aiden Ross and saying, I'm about to stop doing music because that's how much you made last month from streaming, Aiden Ross? Shit, I got a fan base. I'm finna start streaming. Yo, my references is I'm about to walk the fuck off this. Oh my god. I'm gonna get arrogant just for today's stream. They can't fuck with me. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. Hey, Shata, this is similar to when we realized that I was a good spokesperson for RBE. I'm having that moment right now for Sorry It's True. We did our first interview with Jemsky TV after our very first event, and the camera cut off. We both looked at each other and said, damn, yeah, you're going to be talking for the company. I think I'm a decent podcaster, B. I really do. I think I'm decent at this. I got to have my little confidence moment for a second. But anyway, think about it, people. Like, this shit really, really, really draws all together. And even I'm giving this whole liquor company more conspiracy theory legs right now with this segment. And I was trying to focus on Cassie. Well, you're good. You're good. Fuck it. Chat and comments later on. Drop it below. Do you feel that this whole trial is because of A, the culmination over all these years of Diddy just not sitting the fuck down and continuing to get in so much trouble, and the Cassie thing was the last straw from an authority and a government standpoint because Diddy's a big name and he's a big person, and they finally reacted. That's a strong angle. Is it that? Is it B, alleged extortion from Cassie? If we find out that indeed she came to him and said, I'm going to write a book or pay me, that's big. Kanye, you just fucked that up for your friend, though. Or C, is it tied into the liquor company shit? Now, the only reason why, as much as I give a big breakdown on that whole liquor company thing, and I didn't even think I was going to spend that much time on it, is I do feel like it's separate, okay? I do understand that liquor company we just saw is worth $58 billion. But that doesn't mean that you have the power to just link into the feds and say, bring this federal case on Diddy. Like, yes, UMG knows where the skeletons are. So yes, they can sneak out some. I'm going to parallel. I'm creating different scenarios together to make the point. So yes, UMG could sneak out a hotel video, right? Or they know where the skeletons are buried. Yes, that doesn't mean that they're the ones in the offices pushing the button and say, all right, it's time for a Fed case. All right. It's very possible that Diageo just got sued by a billionaire who had the resources to go at them the same way Drake has the resources to go at UMG. And it created a lot of waves. And shit, maybe they pushed a couple buttons to make the footage come out too. Shit, there goes a fourth one. Well, actually, it's tied into the third one. But which one? I can't pick right now. I just don't like the angle of the Cassie shit. It pisses me off. I feel disgusted by it. It does. But at least for today, this morning, which of the three do y'all want to go with? All right, I'm gonna leave the Diddy topic and the title alone. I hope I delivered on that for y'all. Let me scroll up through the chat for a second, and then I'm gonna start moving on to the rest of the stream. Let me scroll up to like the last 10 minutes. Make sure y'all not like, yo, ARP is up here tripping. Because if I'm in my Rain Man fucking brainstorm mode and y'all are in the chat like, yo, this nigga's crazy, then I'm off. Like, I gotta replay the stream. Like, damn, where did I go left? There we go. Shout out to Sassy in the building. One of our members says, all the rappers were sponsoring their own brand of liquor. All right. Right. Ludacris. Luda had a cognac. Thank you, Sat. Some people got some memories up here. Shout out to Jay in the building. Now make sure y'all subscribe, cut your notifications on, check out the Spotify, comment, share the stream, please. Appreciate y'all. Help your brother out. We can't have streams like this do like 3,000 views. Like streams like this must be seen. They gotta see us. Appreciate it. Oh, was this when I was in my rant? Oh, is this when I walked off the stream for a second? Y'all laughing? I was just felt like I was in my bag. Reference. I was felt like I was in a serious reference bag. And I was drawing a lot of points. It was just like, oh wait, this guy is really he's on to something here. Oh, shout out to my member Makai says, or Micah says that boy good. Now, that's an obvious coming to America one. So, and this one's a RBE reference, right? Y'all are just as good with y'all references as me. Chat says, calm down, cocky nerd. I am a nerd in certain avenues. Sassy says, oh, she just slapped you, nigga. Shout out to the chat. It says, I love cocky nerds, right? Crews be safe out there. Higher up Fez, Liquor. Happy Wednesday, positive vibes, ARP in chat. Shout out, Mike. I appreciate you from the chat. Okay. All right, we're gonna start to move on. Shout out to the chat. Now, all jokes aside, shout out to the chat. We having fun. I like to make us remember. I like to make us open up our minds, and I like to still make us be entertained by the current news and have fun within it. And if I can do all those things, certain streams will be more boring than others, but this one I'm enjoying. So I hope y'all don't think I'm crazy with some of these directions. All right, let's go to Pusha T. Let's go to Pusha T. And what's he got going on? Trying to sell some extra records, huh? Pusha T to Travis Scott. You're lucky I didn't TMZ my evidence. Let God sort them out. What are you talking about? Pusha T isn't only venting his frustrations at Kanye West in interviews. He's unloading on Travis Scott on the upcoming Clips album. The Breakfast Club, Lauren LaRosa attended the Let God Sort 'Em Out album listening at Roc Nation's office last night ahead of the tracks. So be it audio mysteriously appearing on the internet shortly after. So I'm not going to play Lauren's clip because I don't know how the Breakfast Club is with their clips and shit. I'm gonna fall back there. But Pusha painted Travis as a tender-hearted simp on the track. You cried in front of me. You died in front of me. Calabasas took that bitch and you pried in front of me. What was he talking about? What was he talking about? I know I seen Travis Scott with 50 Cent's ex, and I like her. I do like 50 Cent's ex, man. I think she's beautiful, and I think she has a lot of substance. I even like the way her Instagram is. There's a lot of model-based pictures. There's athletic-based pictures up there, though, but it's from a very sexy yet classy angle, and we already know she's bringing something to the table. I think she's like a lawyer or a doctor or some shit. I don't know. But I like 50's ex. I don't know how he fucked that up. But who's he talking about? Travis might have took her down recently. I don't know. Pusha went into detail about the lyrics in an unearthed GQ profile on Tuesday, explaining it was Travis's meltdown collab with Drake. Oh, Drake. I'm thinking it was a woman. It is about Drake. That's fucked up, TMZ. You set Drake up like that while I'm reading this? Damn, man. Why you gotta make Drake catch a stray or accident? I'm not here with no Drake slander on this stream at all. Shout out to Drake. What are we doing here? That grinded his kids. And now I get more of the motivation because you see how I started reading. Now I was like, we trying to sell more records? If it's tied into Drake, I see what Push is on. Okay, cool. Back in 2023, Pusha says Travis barged into an album studio session he and his bro Malice were having to preview his Utopia album, including a version of Meltdown without Drake's verse, which wound up dissing Pusha's right-hand man, Pharrell Williams. And there we have the full context. Okay, cool. Glad Pusha's not just trying to sell a record. Well, the timing of it is still, all right, now you want to put this out? Yeah. But you're showing an angle that somebody pulls some shit on you. Okay. And when at one of your homies that you've always been protective of. Okay, cool. The veteran MC saved the sharpest arrows for the end of the verse. Heard Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat. The net gonna call it the way that they see it, but I got the video. I can share it and AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it. He's really acting like he got footage of Travis Scott crying. It's okay to cry, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all right, fellas. Don't let these people over alpha you. It's okay to cry, man. With tangled web, what a tangled web Pusha decided to weave. AE and Tiger are best friends forever, and Tiger used to date Kylie, who is obviously Travis's ex. So we're talking about Kylie. Okay, I miss me and Pusha's friendship. That's what Kanye tweeted, whatever. Pusha also took the swipe at Ye on the album. Yeah, I heard this. Ace Trumpets as a lead off is I'm here. Ace Trumpets is such a dope track. It's such to me. It's one of the songs of 2025 so far. So I'm so gearing up for the album. I'm ready, and y'all here in the release party, and I'm haven't heard anything bad. You know, one of his nemesis, Lil Wayne, just dropped one of the worst albums in the last 5 years, and they're gearing up with one of the best albums of the year. Okay, Pusha, listen, the stars is lining up a little bit. You and your brother don't drop the ball. And you looked at as one of them niggas, like artistically and lyrically, you looked at as one of them niggas. Don't drop the ball. I'm looking forward to this album. July 11th. All right, we right around the corner. We less than a month away, and it's dropping with Jay-Z's Rock Nation. We saw that as well. Jay-Z pulled some strings for him to help get him out of his situation. All right, we here for it. The Travis thing, though, tied into Kylie and tied into Pharrell and tied into Drake. All right, you taking your shots, Push. You taking your shots. I think there is some footage though of him talking a little bit more. Let's see if he's acting the way he was acting on the Joe Budden podcast, where he's not being completely honest. When he was up there with them, and they was asking about where he got the history of Adidon shit, and he was like, "You got it from Pillow Talking Ass 40 situation." I never believed that. I always believed that the Drake has a kid thing came from Kanye. I always believed that. I think Pusha got up there and told a bold-faced fucking lie. Let's see what he's gonna say here.
He's shameless. It all came from actually being in Paris.
So be it. So be it. So be it.
So came through carrying the Utopia briefcase.
Right. Yep.
Doing his whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
He comes. He interrupts the session. The next day,
he's doing it.
Down verse or whatever comes on.
I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss.
Drake on Travis Scott talking about melting Pharrell's jewelry.
Yeah, and all that. Wait. That was a corny. Like, you shouldn't have been here anyway. Him specifically too. I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into what his whole makeup. I took it there.
Her Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat.
And then to come back in our fold,
to make a point of
to invade the fold, and then do all that he's shameless. It all came from actually being in Paris. So all that he did was like, man, I was corny. He's shameless. He does it. You've seen him do it to everybody. I've definitely had to put my hand on your shoulder before. You died in front of me. You cried in front of me.
Cried in front of me. You died in front of me.
Calabasas took bitch and your pride in front of me.
Calabasas took bitch and your pride in front of me.
I had to help you. People take that type of shit for granted. I don't take that for granted. So be it. All that he did was like, man, I was corny.
Oh no, I'm fully on board with the structure of this now. I am. Oh, the whole breakdown and explanation that he got, it doesn't feel like he pulled what he did on the Joe Budden podcast, because he did align the Paris metaphor into it, the history of Travis, the when you put Drake on it, he took shots at Pharrell. Even during the Kendrick and the Drake beef, right? He was dangling Pharrell's chain in the Family Matters video, and his lyrics about it, come get his legacy out of my house. And Push is still riding for his man, Pharrell. He's still riding for his man, Pharrell. I love it. I think Drake, though, he's got to continue to be careful with Pusha T. Pusha T already beat the shit out of him. He already beat the shit out of him. That was a major L. Even Drake admit that, yeah, you know, you got the exposed that I have a child. You got it. Like, then Drake started saying things as if he wanted to actually see him. Like, you dissed 40 and it's for life. Like, I can't wait until they catch him. Like, he started having all those type of subs. I think Pusha did an interview saying that he bumped into people, though. Did he say that he was in an elevator or bumped into Jay Prince or something like that? I don't know, because supposedly Jay Prince stopped Drake from hitting the big red button. But Pusha T beat the shit out of Drake. And he'll beat the shit out of a lot of your favorite rappers. It just is what it is. I look at Push as like a Jadakiss, you know? Commercially, success-wise, we just don't look at them like the God tier people, but their ability, their respect, and the way that we appreciate them is of God tier cloth. Right, that's how I look at like the Jadakisses and the Pusha T's. They are to be revered, protected, and appreciated for what they do and what they continue to bring to the game. So shout out to Push, man. I'm looking forward to this shit. And shout out to Malice too. All right, let's go to Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, what's going on? Y'all see his face in the thumbnail, right? What's going on with Tyler Perry? Tyler Perry is being sued for $260 million over alleged sexual assault. Derek Dixon claims Tyler Perry made unwelcome advances on him before later casting him in the Oval. Okay. So this is the gentleman next to him in this picture here that's allegedly bringing the SA case against him. All right, let's read a little bit more context. Actor Derek Dixon, known from the Oval, is suing Tyler Perry for $260 million, accusing him of sexual assault and harassment. Dixon claims Perry pursued him after 2019 meeting, gave him small roles, then allegedly made unwanted advances at his home, and sent him unwelcoming charged text. The lawsuit includes years of alleged messages and claims of toxic power dynamic. All right, let me do the legal side of this first. Hey, Derek Dixon. Hey, Derek Dixon. This annoys me because if the man was coming on to you allegedly and he made advances towards you allegedly, but then you feel like that also created a toxic power dynamic because the billionaire Tyler Perry, who's helping you, who's employing you at times, hiring you for roles, hiring you, putting you on, he also allegedly wants to sleep with you. And that created a bugged out power dynamic for you. I don't have the paperwork in front of me yet. But $260 million for that. $260 million for that? You want to know what history shows before we got into this era of civil lawsuits? History shows the reverse of women using their sexuality to get into those jobs and to work for men of power. You still see it depicted in movies and music sometimes. When you see the beautiful woman in the short skirt and the blouse and the button-up shirt that's buttoned all the way down to her cleavage and the glasses and her hair put up, and she's walking through the hallway with the books, and she drops her pencil and she leans over and her titties spill out and some people look. That's an image of a woman using her sexuality within a, air quotes, corporate America environment. It's like the big screen. It's like the exec assistant happens to be heavy chested. The exec assistants, that they happen to be beautiful and pretty, right? That's a real thing in society. It is. The eye candy at the front desk, the eye candy before you come in, you get buzzed into the big boss's office. That's a real thing in society. That is a real thing. It's not just a stereotype. It's there. I've seen it myself personally. And some women have capitalized on their beauty in places of work and employment. Hell, I mean, come on. Not even past this example I'm giving right here. It happens by the million. And now when you move that into the power dynamic, right, of, all right, this is the boss. You know what's fucked up is I always got to look at both sides of the coin, because the same person that can claim I want $260 million because the power dynamic was weird for me, because you sexually advanced me. There's also the other side of the coin. Millions of people, you know what they get out of these situations? Job security. Job security. The boss likes me. The boss flirts with me. I fuck the boss. Fuck the boss in his office. I fuck the married boss. Sometimes it's even job security. We're not going to act like the world ain't the world. Okay. So checks and balances. If we get our hands on the paperwork and we do the actual read and I get more details as to why this was a toxic power dynamic, right? I'll go from there. But just from this overall summary right here, $260 million does not warrant this shit. It happens every fucking day. And if the man was working next to you and had an attraction to you, advanced you, I don't hear no allegations of he physically did anything to you. He didn't grab you. He didn't grab your ass or nothing, or grab your dick. I'm not seeing that, right? I'm seeing that he advanced you, maybe some text messages or whatever, allegedly. But in today's world, that could end up being $260 million. Now we know it's who you're suing as well, a billionaire. So 260, oh, you got it. We're gonna start high. I'll settle for a little smooth 4 million, but 260 is what's going in. Is Tony Busby a lawyer? I wouldn't be surprised. Allegedly. But now, that's my shot at the guy, Derek Dixon, until I read the full paperwork. That's my shot at him. Let's go a step further. Let me get 50 out. No, I'll say 50. Let me go a step further now. Let's go towards the legs of this. All right. What is this from? This is from 2013. That's over 10 years ago. Tyler Perry dated a Real Housewife of Atlanta. Gay rumors emerged after he pleads the fifth on WWHL, whatever that stood for. What, Real World? I don't know. Whatever. I don't watch them shows. Rumors have now surfaced that Tyler Perry dated one of the cast members on The Real Housewives of Atlanta after he refused to confirm or deny when asked the question on Watch What Happens Live. The Madea creator appeared on the Bravo late night show with the host Andy Cohen and may have revealed some of his dating history. The actor played the Plead the Fifth game, in which he was required to answer a question with the truth or plead the fifth to skip. All right, so they was up there having fun, playing a little talk show game. There are rumors all over the A that you have dated some Atlanta housewives. Is that true? Cohen said. Perry laughed at Cohen and insisted answering the question. He responded, I plead the fifth. That's kind of alluding. Like you laugh and joke and then you plead the fifth on that. You could just be having fun. But while Perry did not confirm or deny he dated a Real House of Atlanta member, gossip site Media Takeout went as far to say that the actor was in a relationship with a male cast member. Now, you don't necessarily take everything Media Takeout says for truth, but on the show, Perry also revealed that Janet Jackson is a better actress than Kim Kardashian, yada, yada, yada. All right. The gay rumors, even over 10 years ago, are there. Let me pull up another one. What's this one? All right. This is from, do I got a date on this one? This is from 2024. Okay. Who is Tyler Perry and is he gay is the title. What the fuck? A look into his dating history. All right. American actor, filmmaker, and playwright Tyler Perry is a known name in Hollywood. He's more than a known name. He's one of the titans. Rumors about Tyler Perry's sexuality emerged from the first time when he released the Madea film. Okay. Madea is one of Tyler Perry's best fictional creations. His birth mother and his aunt inspired the character. Many love how hilarious, street smart, and brutally honest the woman is, having a baby daddy named Brown. Makes her show's movies even more fun to watch. Have a glimpse into Tyler Perry's dating history below and discover how rumors of him being gay started. All right. Whatever. All right. Is Tyler Perry gay? Let's read this real quick. It is unclear whether Tyler Perry is gay because he has been romantically linked to multiple female celebrities, including Tasha Smith and Tyra Banks, and has a child with a woman. Sheila Bickel, how do you pronounce her name? Who he dated from 2009 to 2020. Moreover, the actor has never confirmed or denied gay rumors, so he's never denied it. Okay, if it was Meek Mill, you know he's coming out with a tweet sooner or later. When did Tyler Perry come out as gay? He has never admitted he is gay. Rumors about the actor's sexuality emerged once from the Medea stuff. All right, let me just go from here. I think one of the biggest points from articles like that is that the accusations come his way a lot. The rumors have always been there. It's not fair to just base it fully off of Medea, but here's my thing with Tyler Perry. I've always appreciated and respected Tyler Perry. He is one of our Black billionaire moguls. I don't know of hearing him being a shitty person. I don't hear about him stealing from people and hurting people and R-ing people. I haven't heard none of that. So those people are to be appreciated, respected, and that sometimes even protected. He's probably generated or created how many millionaires? He is a billionaire, but how many millionaires has he created? How much opportunity has he given? How many people look up to him as a role model? Even 50 Cent does lately, it seems. How many people look up to him? Respect that man. Now, I can say how much respect and appreciation I have for Tyler Perry. That is completely separate from, am I a fan of Tyler Perry? That answer is no. I can separate the two. Why am I not a fan of Tyler Perry? I never caught on to his move after I saw the come out party of the Medea stuff. It just wasn't for me. Millions, if not billions of people love it. That's dope. It wasn't for me. You got a side of some men that feel like that's not good for our Black men. That's not good for our Black households. Some people say that that's pushing agendas. That's a whole nother deep conversation. All right. Some people feel that way. And even at the core of it, if you remove those societal elements and just say, how do I feel as a man? It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. Now, you could say that's TV, that's theater, that's a character he's playing. Hell, y'all see Martin behind me, right? We all know who Shanae is, right? I think Martin played Shanae very, very good because he's just that good with a flexibility of different types of mannerisms and acting. Martin is just one of our GOATs as far as taking on the image of other people, whether it's fucking a police officer, Kung Fu Joe, whoever the Kung Fu character, Shanae, old people, white guys in his shows. He does it. He's got that bag. Whereas with Tyler Perry, he plays Medea so well. And then even when he takes off the outfit, you still see some little glimmer there. Nothing wrong with that. And even glimmers don't necessarily mean that you are gay or bisexual, because you can't just tell me a man has a child, so he's not gay. That could still mean that he's bisexual. We even hear the term beards, right? A man that may still have a physical interest in women, may still love being with women, may even use women for their perception or for their cover, may even have children, whether on purpose or accidentally. Doesn't mean that sometimes they're not over here on some Diddy type of shit, getting a man's nut rubbed on their nipples, allegedly. That to me makes Diddy bisexual. I don't care if Diddy never had intercourse with a man or not, and who knows, and that's his business. But the moment you get in trial and Cassie tells me, I got nutted on, I rubbed it off, I walked it into the next room, and I rubbed it on Diddy's nipples, if that is true, that makes Diddy bisexual. Okay? So don't tell me a man has a wife or a child. That's off the table. The glimmer that's in him and how well he's always played Medea, and that being such a focal point for him and how much he enjoyed and revered in that, it wasn't for me. And I think that is the core of it. Do you have to come out publicly and say, world, I'm not gay? Why is everybody saying this? World, I'm not bisexual. Why is everybody saying this? No, you don't have to do that. Sometimes you could even let that shit continue to linger for the mystery of you, which may translate to dollars anyway. Controversy sells. You never know. how he decided to navigate that business-wise, family-wise, and personally wise. But there's many of us out here that if it came out officially confirmed that Tyler Perry is either bisexual or now fully all out gay, a lot of people wouldn't be shocked. Okay. A lot of people wouldn't be shocked. So that's where, when you see an accusation from this guy, Derek Dixon, it has the immediate legs, only because we look at Tyler Perry and say, oh, that maybe has been there for a while. All right. But I don't really fuck with this $260 million based on the details that we have. So those are the two ways to look at it. And based on that, I will pull up real quick, briefly. 50 Cent, you know, he's his Instagram is becoming his toy, if not already. Right? He posted this initially, supporting Tyler Perry. Hey, I think anyone who talks bad about Tyler Perry should die. I mean, we are all gonna die, but you should die now. That's his initial support of Tyler Perry. But then, fast forward, it looks like 50 still supporting, but does a slight let me leave the door cracked in case I need to escape type of post. Look at this one. This was 13 hours ago. Did that did that bitch just say what I think he said? Nah, we ain't jacking this gay shit. No way. All right. You're paying attention, ain't you, 50? It makes sense for 50 Cent to revere in Tyler Perry, to continue to support Tyler Perry. You're moving into that space. The whole film studio and movie creation, getting more and more deep into TV. The real money makers, the liquors and the TV shit and all of that, the sports management and all that all these rappers that get to these levels have moved away from. Like, they don't give a fuck about putting out no albums. And if you could have Tyler Perry as your support, your friend, your network, your advisor, your mentor, shit, that's a win. That is a super win. Some of y'all even take the dinner with Jay-Z over the $1 million. Remember that little question or whatever? Even Jay-Z was like, take the money. So I think 50 Cent has his motives to back Tyler Perry right now. But whether you're 50 Cent or anybody, I want to read the paperwork. I gave y'all both sides of that coin. You know, so we're going to stay neutral because there's reasons to stay neutral until more comes. All right. But for now, shout out to Tyler Perry. We shall respect, appreciate our moguls and people that have become that productive in life. I'm pretty sure he pissed off a couple people. I remember seeing the stuff he got into it with Monique and everything. And, you know, you don't get to that level without stepping on a couple toes or pissing off a couple people or even having a couple skeletons in your closet. But overall, from what I know of Tyler Perry, good guy, right? Good guy. To be continued. What do we got here? Shout out to Poppy Cashmore. One of our members says Boondocks episode was classic. Shout out to the Boondocks. Did I miss anything else over here? Shout out to Jay. Her name is Shamira Cuban Link. She is 30. Oh, that's going back to the topic when I was talking about 50 Cent's ex. Cuban Link, yeah. I like her, man. I do, for the reasons I explained earlier in the stream. But Jamira, okay. Cuban Link, I knew that name, but it didn't pop in my mind. So it just shows that I'm not fucking following her like that, and I'm not what's the word? I'm not stalky. You know what I'm saying? I remember the name as soon as you say it. But I do like her though. I think she kind of dope. All right. I got Lil Baby in the thumbnail, not in the title, but in the thumbnail. Let's check out why. Lil Baby.
Like thieves in the night.
These are YSL gang members.
Authorities say they waited in the woods until a Nissan drove out of this apartment complex. And when it did, they lit it up.
There are 39 casings collected from the scene.
These YSL gang members were allegedly after a man who shot up Lil Baby's music video. Instead,
you got the wrong car.
It was this woman and her 2-year-old son inside.
She bleeds out and she passes away in front of her child.
The video that led to this man's conviction, and DA Fonnie Willis and her team say they aren't done yet.
YSL is a gang. It does exist, and it is a violent gang.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates.
So, Lil Baby now, the reason why I got him in the thumbnail for this particular topic here. And it's bugged out because they're alleging that this particular shooting here happened from alleged YSL members. Yet, for me, seeing this, it still becomes worse for Lil Baby, that video. So, the ties between Lil Baby and King Slime, you know, somebody that you're already on the record saying you didn't toss him a couple $1 million to help fight his case and all that. And we already know the relationship between those two guys. You know, even Young Thug is tweeting while he's in prison, you know, it's whatever Wham want to do. People interpret that as however it relates to Gunna or whatever. The relationship between Young Thug and Lil Baby is evident. And, you know, that even then creates ties from Lil Baby to YSL. I'm pretty sure is what the DA would do. Very, very typical stuff. The thing, though, about Young Thug and YSL. So the YSL trial is now over, right? The last guy finished out, I think it was like last week, that was associated with the overall case. And we see what Young Thug, what his end game was, right? So he's done, he's out, he's walking around, he's just following a shitload of stipulations that hopefully don't land his ass back in jail. You have the double jeopardy thing, you have, you know, legally the doubling back. Unless you want to go bring some new charges to these people, like would the DA go to that route? Like, we have evidence now that this particular shooting is tied to Young Thug as well. We forgot to bring this to trial. For some reason, I just don't see that. The reason why I'm thinking more about Lil Baby right now is because they didn't build. Well, I shouldn't say they didn't build a case because it seems like they already had been building a case on him. Shit, they took the podium, the police chief, right, and alluded to Lil Baby, right? They pretty much put it out there that this video shooting spawned kids that were killed after and shootings, and it was provoked by Lil Baby and where he chose to shoot the video. They already put that out there. So this is not no us reaching, right? The thing is, they're obviously building a case on Lil Baby, but he has yet to be indicted. He has yet to be brought in. He has yet to be charged. You take your time also with powerful people that have resources, that have a lot of money. You don't bring Gotti in for tax evasion. You finally get enough evidence to talk about these RICO charges, and then you might just throw tax. That's what they just did to Big U. You know, people look more towards the extortion allegedly of Big U and the murder of that young man out there allegedly, and all those things. And then you end up also fighting this tax evasion and you misuse government funds and all that. That's in the case too. That's the smaller stuff. So I think, you know, this video shooting, and we continue to hear Lil Baby's name come up, even out of court proceedings for other trials. I know Lil Baby's running around doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is working, enjoying life. We covered him the other day, snatching chains off of people's necks, having fun. Now that looked like it was more like a skit and everything. Like, I don't believe Lil Baby's out here trying to rob fucking streamers. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're Lil Baby, his fans or his friends or his family, you just don't forget that the DA, that's what was that woman's name? Her face, that's the one that Young Thug put out there, and he's like, she's like undercover. They didn't even want her face out there. Her, the video shoot, and the police commissioner that took the stand and said what he said in Lil Baby's direction, that means Lil Baby, always remember, they're still building a case on you, whether they actually go to grand jury or not, but they are building a case on you. This is once again why Lil Baby knows this. That's why he denounced 4PF, and he didn't hide it. He didn't say to Lil Yachty in that interview during his last album rollout, I'm denouncing 4PF because I'm just growing in life. I'm just evolving. No, he said, I'm looking around. I'm seeing what they're doing to our people and what happened with Young Thug and YSL and shit. I don't want it to happen to me. So no more 4PF. He said it. I don't think he should have said it like that, but he admitted it. I think he was he misshot by saying it like that. Honestly, the way we see these cases, I think that they would use that if they ever indicted him. The way he explained it like that to Lil Yachty. Like, because you want to see the motivations for moving away from an alleged gang or people that are into street activity, because that's not what you into anymore. Not because I'm saying, oh shit, look what y'all did to Slime. Fuck, I gotta stop promoting full PF. No, I don't look good, buddy. He said the wrong thing. But he knows. The DA knows. The police commissioner knows. They are continuing to build a case on Lil Baby. Now, for his friends, his family, and his fans, you hope that it just goes to a dead end. Because what we're used to seeing is, boom, it pops up and they say, oh shit, we on Lil Durk. And then we get the unsealed indictment and we read why. Like, oh, even though we saw that, even Lil Durk saw it coming because he rapped about it, right? But that's when we kind of figure out most of this stuff. Lil Baby's in a different situation. They're already coming out from the DA and the police committee. They're already saying it. They already put it out there. So you never lose track and forget, like, they want me. Whether they go to grand jury or not, and that indictment comes or not, they want me. Remember, there was even that list that was published of all the gangs that were targeted by the government. You had gangs like Duct Tape. Duct Tape was on there. You see names like Alley Boy that represented Duct Tape. Remember that? At one point, he beat up Young LA behind that shit for putting a duck tattoo on his face and all that. Young LA took his ass back to the tattoo parlor and covered up the duck on his face. Like, it's crazy. And shout out to Young LA, man. I hope he's doing better. Last time we saw him, he passed out in the club while he was performing. He's crying in interviews and everything. It looks like he hasn't been doing good lately, but shout out to him. But that list had like Duct Tape on it, and then this gang, and this gang, and this gang, and this gang, and YSL, and 4PF. That list, that government list. Lil Baby is a target. And if he's as smart of a street nigga as his music has portrayed, he knows everything that I'm saying right now here on this podcast, and then some. All right. How was today's stream, people? Is it 1 million view worthy? I don't care if it does 500 views. I just want to know, is it 1 million view worthy? I think this was a good stream. I think today we fucked some of these topics up. Chat, we fucked some of these topics up today. I ain't gonna lie to you. We got the clips that's gonna come out today. Let me look at the chat. Shout out to Facts, man. I see Facts in the building. He said today was fire. Appreciate it. And anybody that's missed any of the stream, please, this is one that you got to go back to the beginning and replay everything from the jump. This was a fun stream. I have those vibes sometimes. Sometimes I take these headphones off and I'll be like, man, my energy was low. I ain't have it today. My points ain't really, I ain't getting my reference back like that. I'm a critic of myself. You know what I'm saying? But today I feel like we fucked some of these topics up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Thank you, Sassy. Awesome content. Appreciate that. Everybody, please share today's stream. I don't even be telling y'all to share the stream. A lot of the members and the mods remind y'all in the chat, and I appreciate them infinitely for that. I be forgetting. I don't really be promoting enough. I don't promote my own shit enough. I just go through the motion of us building and doing the work and then let it grow organically. But not today. I'm saying it. Hey, people, share today's stream. Share today's stream. What time is it? It's 11:30 a.m. and we about 90 minutes in. Good work. All right, I'm about to hit this gym. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Keep your eyes up for any other exclusives or clips that might be dropping. And if y'all also on the battle rap side of things, I released a highlight video of Big Cannon last night. He deserves a watch of his highlights to remember how good that man either is, so some of y'all would say. I don't know how active he's been lately, but definitely was. Go check that highlight video out. It came out last night, people. But all right, we'll be back ASAP. It's your boy.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.